morning. Today is a special day because I will be joined by 3 people from the Arkency team and be working together on the workshop application, on the workshop materials, because we prepare for the Rails DDD workshop in London. So hopefully I will be able to record some more stuff of how this preparation looks like and how do we approach, I think it's a unique way, to the workshops. So mob programming is in progress, but first we started with an event storming session. We have defined everything, well, almost what we remember about doing the workshops on our part. We put domain events, we put read models. We decided to focus on one simple feature at the beginning about registering a participant. And here we have also a list of potential bounded contexts, and we want to teach people how to use bounded contexts. So that's the part about event storming. And now what we are doing is an experiment. We are doing a mob programming session. We are all programming on a TV. We see the Ruby mine with the code base. And we switch every 5 minutes here. So that's our plan for now. So Tomek has his last 1 minute. How's it going, Tomek?
Very well.
You can now look at the screen, right, instead of the TV.
Yeah.
But we can all see here. So the working session is now over. It was a very productive day. It was really cool to have this mob programming session and the event storming session and preparing the agenda. But maybe I will talk more about it later because I have something to test. I'm not sure what's the English name for that. We call it stative. So let me try this now. That's pretty cool. Okay, but to the point. Today, 2 points worth sharing. First is how we prepared the workshops, which is actually the 6th edition of our workshop, but we decided to change the format a little bit. Previously, we were more focused on teaching one building blocks of DDD at a time, and then you have a bigger picture at the end. This time we decided to reverse it a little bit, and we are starting with the whole bigger picture first, starting even with the events, and then showing all the building blocks together without maybe going into all the details of them, but at least to show how they cooperate, and then we can do this. So we prepared a workshop application. It still needs some work, but it has one of the features from here implemented already. It's about registering a participant and displaying the participants list for this current edition. We want to prepare our next exercise, which will be about tracking costs. So costs of a workshop edition. So from our point of view, from the logistics point of view, or maybe accounting point of view, to know when we become profitable with this workshop edition, what are the costs, so that we can track it better. So that's the goal, but mostly the goal is obviously not to have this workshop application working for us. It's more about people being able to practice on something close to real. And so the second point, so that was the workshop. We also changed the agenda quite a lot, but I think we've learned a lot about, from the previous editions. We now know better how to help people better. The second thing was the mob programming. So when we worked on this simple application for registering a participant, there were 4 of us. We were changing the computer every 5 minutes. We actually had the timer, and it was very cool, quite fast. So the person with the keyboard is a driver, and the other people are navigators. We tried to take care that no one actually goes with their mobiles or computers, but the navigators, especially the navigators, they have to be focused all the time, because the driver is more like the driver, but the navigator is actually the one who even sometimes tells the driver what to do. So if the driver makes a mistake, it's actually more of a navigator's role to not to let it happen. We've had many different thoughts about this. Like for example, I have this idea that maybe in our projects, especially given they are async and remote, maybe we could have this idea that in one project we work only on one feature at a time, which I think some of the companies which adopt mob programming, they do this like that. So there is never like two stories being implemented at the same time. It's only like you come to the office every day, you just join the session and everyone is sitting at the same place. Obviously the problem, as with pair programming, for example, is, well, that's a waste of time. But I think I see like where time is spent. Time is spent mostly when people are debugging. Time is spent mostly when people are slowed down because they don't get it or because there is bad design. And with mob programming session, I think this is something probably impossible to prove. I believe it might be the case that it's much harder to get a wrong design if you have 4 people agreeing on this wrong design. You know, that's a more difficult thing, I would say. So I see this as something cool. In our environment with async remote, so today was quite exceptional. We were working in the same room here, but overall, usually we work remotely, and this might be a bit harder, but still we do use, for example, Screen Hero for sharing the session. Probably this could work. However, my main problem with that is that the navigators, they really need to be focused on what you do. And when everyone is on their screens also, because they, for example, through Screen Hero, which we overall recommend, it's a huge temptation to get distracted by whatever is happening on Slack or in your email or whatever. So more discipline is needed, but that's usually the case with the remote work. It's always about the discipline. I will try to think about more ideas, like how to get mob programming. Mirek actually suggested maybe we could use mob programming during the workshops. I think that was his idea. And that's a crazy idea, but that could work. Like if we can implement everything, just have the driver changing every 5 minutes, maybe a 20-minute session, that was, you know, at least it would teach people a new way of working together. So that might be worth it.